Hi, are you headed to Poznan, Poland, but not sure what to see or how to get there or how to get around? Well, don't worry. On this channel, I do all the research so you don't have to. Choosing a destination is only the first step in planning your dream European vacation. After you've chosen where to go, all the hours of research, planning, and booking begins. This can be frustrating and overwhelming. I will cover all the exact itineraries, logistics, expert tips and tricks so that you aren't burnt out before you even depart. As with all the videos on Poland, this video is part of the larger itinerary of the whole of Poland. The video is right here and it will also be in the show notes. If you're finding these videos helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Poznan is located in the center of Poland, a little bit in the west. It is about 3 hours south and a little west of Gdańsk and about 2 hours pretty much straight north of Wrocław. Poznan is one of the oldest cities in Poland and it is considered the birthplace of the Polish nation. Its first ruler, this guy, was baptized in 966, which started the Christianization of Poland. In the Middle Ages, it was a really important city because of its location on the Warta River. It has been part of different countries throughout its history, but has always strived for independence. In the 19th century, for example, Poznan became a center of Polish national revival and resistance against foreign rule. The city played a prominent role in the Polish uprisings against Prussian and later German authorities, so it's always had a spirit of resistance and independence. During World War II, it was heavily damaged, but has since been rebuilt and reconstructed. I'm going to jump into sites to see first. At the end of this video, I'll talk about how to get there and how to get around. But like most European cities, where you want to start is in the Old Town. Old Town is super picturesque with cobblestone streets, medieval architecture, and lively market squares. So the Old Market Square is where you want to start. It is the centerpiece of Old Town. So this might be my favorite market square in all of Poland. It's so colorful and quaint and has really interesting architecture. The colorful merchant houses adorned with intricate facades and ornate gables give this market square tons of character. It's a great place to hang out and spend some time. The town hall is a Gothic masterpiece. It was founded in 1253 and was rebuilt in 1560. The town hall is probably the most famous for the two mechanical goats who butt their heads every day at noon. This is followed by the striking of the bell and a bugle call. The bugle call is also played on the hour every hour between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. It is performed live and the musician usually waves to the crowd below when he is finished. So that's kind of fun. There are a couple of legends surrounding this town hall. The first is about the bugle call. So it is said that the son of the trumpeter once looked after the injured king of the ravens, who left him a silver trumpet as a token of gratitude. Years later, when the boy grew up and took over his father's job, he used the silver trumpet to call the birds when the city was under attack. The birds came and rescued the city. There is a second legend, and this has to do with the goats. So story has it that a cook was cooking a feast for dignitaries and the cook burnt the deer that he was cooking. And so he went out and stole 2 goats and tried to cook them as well, but they escaped and ran up the tower to the top of the tower and then started butting heads and fighting. Well, this was so entertaining for all the people that the cook and the goats were both pardoned, and the leader decided to put mechanical goats in the tower to commemorate this. Just a quick walk from Market Square is the Basilica of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, or Fara Church. This church is probably the finest example of Baroque architecture in Poland. It was built in the late 17th century and it has a gorgeous ceiling with ornate decorations. It's free to enter, but beware because it's haunted. So there's another legend surrounding this church. It says that throughout the years, there have been many sightings of the witch, all dressed in black, and she's standing on the balcony of the organ. This is said to be the ghost of a woman who gave large sums of money to buy the organ. She was betrayed by her lover, and so she now guards the instrument every evening. The Imperial Castle is a palace that was built under German rule in 1910. It was built in the neo-Romanesque style, which was considered by the architect to be the most Germanic of all. It was supposed to reflect control over Poland by the German Empire. The castle contained residential rooms for the emperor and other members of court, as well as representative rooms such as the throne room. Today, the throne room is used as a cinema. Other parts of the castle are used as art galleries. There's shops, restaurants, and even a puppet theater. The courtyard is often used for live music and movies and concerts in the summer. You can get a tour of the castle. There are a few options. You can get a map and go by yourself, or there are audio guides and guided tours as well. Cathedral Island, or this, I can't say, is actually an older part of Poznan than Old Market Square and Old Town. The first known fortified settlement in that area was in the 8th century. After the walled town of Poznan was built on the west side of the river in the 13th century, Cathedral Island became the domain of the bishops. The Cathedral of St. Peter and St. Paul, or the Poznan Cathedral as it is known, is the main site on Cathedral Island. It is the oldest Polish cathedral dating back to the 10th century. Because of fires, raids, and wars, the cathedral has been rebuilt numerous times. It was originally built in the pre-Romanesque style, then Romanesque, Gothic, Baroque, and Neoclassical, and after World War II, it was rebuilt in the Gothic style. Some of the remains of the earlier churches can be found in the South Tower. Park Cittadella, or Citadel Park, is 89 hectares of green space to explore. It is not only a great place to enjoy nature, but it is also full of monuments, cemeteries, and art installations. It is called Citadel Park because of the fort that was built there in 1828. It was mainly used as a military prison and POW camp until World War II, when it became the final stronghold for the Nazis in the Battle of Poznan. After the war, the bricks were taken to rebuild much of the city and even other places in Poland. So there's not a lot of the fort left to see, but there is some. A stop in the park you'll want to see is the Bell of Peace and Friendship Among Nations, and it was erected in 1986. It is rung on holidays and anniversaries, such as the anniversary of Liberation Day, which commemorates the Nazis giving in at the fort. The date of Liberation Day is February 23rd. The bell weighs almost 2,000 pounds. It hangs 32 feet high and can be heard 6 miles away. A few steps from the bell is the obelisk, which is the monument to the heroes of the citadel. These are the Soviet soldiers who died during the siege of the fort. There's kind of a fun story that goes along with this obelisk. So there used to be a large red star on the top. This mysteriously disappeared one night after the fall of communism in Poland. Russia filed official complaints wanting the star and its thieves found. But as you can imagine, these requests were mostly ignored by Poland. In the years since, however, the star has been located. It was stolen by firefighters, and they have now returned it. It is supposed to go on display in a museum in Poznan. What is left of the Prussian fort houses the Museum of Armaments. This museum features mostly Nazi and Soviet ammunition and weaponry. It includes a diorama showing tank positions, as well as photos of battles in the history of the city. The most interesting part of the museum is the outdoor exhibit that contains tanks, rocket launchers, bombers, and a MiG-15. The museum is actually a branch of the Greater Poland Independence Museum. There are 5 branches of this museum throughout the city. They are the Armament Museum, the Greater Poland Uprising Museum, the Museum of Martyrdom, the Poznan Uprising Museum, and the Poznan Army Museum. So if you're a huge history buff, you can see all 5 of those. The Rose Garden is one of the most popular spots in the park. It consists of 6 landscape terraces, so this is a beautiful spot to spend some time and maybe have a picnic. One other spot that you're going to want to see in this park is the British Military Cemetery, or the Commonwealth Cemetery. Here you will find British servicemen from both World Wars. An interesting fact about this cemetery is that it holds the remains of some of the people from The Great Escape. The Great Escape was a movie that was based on a true story of servicemen planning and executing an escape from Stalag Luft 3, which was a German POW camp. Most of the men who escaped were captured and killed, and their remains are now here. If you want to see the memorial to them, just find the large white cross in the middle of the cemetery. Getting there. Poznan is serviced by an airport. I'll put the name up there. It is located about 7 kilometers west of the city center. The airport offers domestic and international flights with connections to major European cities such as London, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Paris. Airlines like LOT Polish Airlines and Ryanair, Lufthansa operate out of this airport. Poznan is also really well connected by train. You can get trains there from most major Polish cities and other European cities as well. The Polish train station is named this, and it's really close to the city center. Getting from the airport into the city center is really easy. There's taxis or Ubers right outside the terminal, and they take about 20-25 minutes to get into the city, and they're really reasonably priced, so that's an easy way. If you don't want to take a taxi or an Uber from the airport, you can also take bus number 59 or L. It goes right from the airport into the city center. You can buy tickets at a kiosk, or you can buy it on the vehicle as well. From the train station, you can take taxis and Ubers as well. They're easy to catch and really cheap. The other option is to take a tram. The tram stop is located just outside the train station, and you can take numbers 5, 8, 14, and 16 to different parts of the city. You're not going to need a car in Poznan. It's a really walkable city, and it can get congested if you're trying to drive. So if you bring a car into the city, I would just park it at your hotel or Airbnb, and then either walk around or take another form of transportation. There is an extensive network of buses and trams in Poznan. You can get time tickets or you can get daily tickets. The time tickets are for 15 minutes, 45 minutes, or 90 minutes, and you can get daily tickets for 1 day or 7 days. You can get these tickets at kiosks or actually on the vehicle as well. All the kiosks have English, so that's not a problem, and they all take credit cards as well. There are zones to the trams and buses, but all the tourist things are going to be in Zone A, so that's the only zone you need to worry about. Also, if you buy a ticket, it is good for buses or trams, so it doesn't matter, it's good for either one. There are also city bikes available in Poznan, which is a fun way to get around. The first 20 minutes are free, and you pick them up and drop them off at certain locations. You do need an app if you're going to do that, so make sure you get that ahead of time. Another way to get around is the Bolt or Lime scooters. You pick those up anywhere within a certain area and can drop them off anywhere as well. You do need an app, just like with the city bikes. So once you get that set up though, it's really easy and they're a fun way to get around. You're going to love Poznan. There's so much to see and it's absolutely charming. If you found this video, please like and subscribe.